Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soccer Sharps, a soccer betting podcast. We are back. The 26-27 European soccer season is beginning, and it starts with the UEFA Super Cup and on Wednesday. And then on Sunday, we have the FA Community Shield. We're going to be covering both of those games right after this, so stick around, baby. Here we go.
Martial.
And so it begins. Another season, a clean slate. No losses, no wins on the record. Just opportunity. Jordan, welcome back. I'm Devin. I'm hosting this portion, and Jordan is my brother. If you're new to this show, followed us on the World Cup, we appreciate it. But Jordan, how you doing, man? We're back after a very short break.
Yeah, Dev, it feels like not really any break at all. The World Cup came thick and fast. It was a lot of fun, though, I have to say. Great tournament. And, you know, we made some money at the tournament. We got to bro down with some mutual friends, our bros at the Designated Pundits. Shout out Hooligan Soccer Network. And look, we're back for our bread and butter here. Last season was an unmitigated disaster for us when it came to the betting side of things. Our worst season ever. I'd like to say it can't get any worse. So this should be a bounce back season for us. I think it will be, Dev. I feel good after the World Cup. It's a World Cup year. And look, I'm ready to get back into the domestics. We get a couple of little softballs thrown at us here, a couple of meaningless games, essentially, to kick things off with the UEFA Super Cup and the FA Community Shield. Yeah, I can't think of a better way to dip our toe back in the water and be irritated in a couple of days.
Yeah, I can't wait for Wednesday. It's 12:30. I'm watching some weird lineup from Luis Enrique and PSG, and they're getting trounced by Aston Villa. And I'm like, why did I bet on this? And I'll remember it so we could do this show. We're happy to be back.
That's right.
Listen, we are just covering these two matches for you guys, but programming note, we'll be back on Wednesday. That's going to be 2 days from now. We're recording this Monday evening. We'll be back Wednesday evening to do our futures, or as a lot of people keep saying online, outrights. What is that?
Outrights. Futures and outrights. Well, because it's like the outright market, like who's going to win the league outright or win the top scorer.
Yeah. It would also be in the future if they're going to win the league.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
I think maybe the UK calls it outrights, or Europe.
Ah, yes. They also call it football, and we call it soccer.
Soccer.
All right, that's enough banter. Let's move on, Jordan, because we do have this UEFA Super Cup kicking off on Wednesday. It's Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa. This one being played in Austria, the Red Bull Stadium in Austria. Neutral site between the Champions League winner, PSG, against the Europa League winner, Aston Villa. This one sees PSG as favorites here, 3/4 of a goal on the Asian handicap, and the total set at 2.5. Jordan, last year we saw PSG face off against another EPL club, Tottenham Hotspur, and what ended up being a thriller. A 2-2 went into extra time and penalties to eventually PSG, who took home the trophy. But how do you see this one playing out on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'd like to think it'll be something similar to that. It's funny to think back on that game, right? It was like Spurs rallied late to force additional time, or did it go to extra time, or did it just go to penalties? I can't remember what this format is. But yeah, I remember they rallied late to draw the game. And everything looked like Thomas Frank was going to be great at Spurs. Boy, did that not work out.
No.
As they almost could have been relegated on the final day. But yeah, Aston Villa, new proposition here for PSG. But maybe not entirely new, right? They met a couple seasons back in the Champions League, and both legs of that knockout tie, both legs were thrillers. I think you could say both games went over 2.5 goals. The match at Villa Park, the second leg, was out of control. Gigi Donnarumma really saved them there, making some unbelievable saves down the stretch. Villa really gave them a game. I don't know that they can do that again here. The neutral ground playing in Salzburg, I don't think really favors either team. I think both will get decent travel, but Villa looking a little depleted right now. On the one hand, right, you're losing Morgan Rogers, you've lost Yuri Tillemans, Luca Digne has gone the other side, gone to PSG. So I know they've brought in a couple guys, Monzambi, everyone's darling from the World Cup. But yeah, I think man for man, they're a little outmatched here with their current setup. That said, I'm not going to mess with the side here, Dev. I'm going to kind of bank on it being similar to the last Super Cup we saw, the one you mentioned about between PSG and Spurs. That was a 2-2. This one, as you can see here on the graphic, lined at 2.5. I like the over here, Dev. And it's not just because of last season or because of the two knockout ties or knockout legs that these teams played a couple seasons ago. It's also because, look, 7 of the last 11 Super Cups have seen 3 or more goals, 64% hit rate. And you're giving it to me at -108. I think that's a bet right there. And there's no real rivalry here like we'll get to in the next match we're covering. So I don't think they really factor into each other's thoughts in terms of bragging rights. This game can generally be played a little more freely. I think we see goals. I think we can get to 3 goals at -108. I'm willing to take a stab.
Yeah, George, it's interesting you mentioned that 7 of 11, because I looked at it and so this last one was the 2-2 PSG Spurs, and then 4 straight before that had all gone under 2.5. So that kind of threw me off of that total, just because it doesn't mean anything though, right? It's not like it's completely anecdotal when these teams play one time per year in a very contrived odd match. But because I did
about stats, you go back as far as you need to prove your
to make your point. Yeah, I looked long and hard at that total, right? I thought sitting at -108 for the over seemed pretty good to me. When you look at PSG, who've been the class of Europe for 2 seasons now, and they play their best ball at the end of the season, right? When it's Champions League, quarter, semis, final. That's when they really are designed to kick into gear. So coming back after this sort of like sleepy World Cup summer, these guys barely had a break. Are they going to be playing in this team? PSG have only played 2 club friendlies. It's sort of a low number compared to most of these teams. You look at the Aston Villa side, they played like 6. So PSG coming into this with just the 2 matches, one against Manchester United, which was a 1-1. Honestly, if you're going to bet on this, check the lineups. Just check the lineups. Make sure it's nothing crazy, right? You mentioned some of the PSG, some of the Aston Villa departures, which I'll get to as well. And PSG bringing in Luca Digne, Ferran Torres, which, okay. Definitely a downgrade on Gonzalo Ramos being the backup 9 there.
Huh.
Ousmane Dembele is
an upgrade.
You think so? Oh, well, yeah. I guess not definitely. The jury's still out on Ramos. We'll say Torres is going to dine out on that World Cup goal final for the rest of his life.
It's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal. Big goal. Kvaratskhelia has been the one who has been playing in all the PSG preseason games. Mr. Matthew Cash will have the ignominious duty of having to defend him, and I don't think it's going to go well for Mr. Cash. On the other side, most likely Ian Matson, who's a nice player going forward, but if he's having to go up against Desiree Doué, or even if Dembele pops up on that right side, I don't think it's going to go very well. Villa missing 3 key midfielders you mentioned from last season. Yuri Tillemans departed to Manchester United. Morgan Rogers, one of their best creative threats in the final third, he's gone to Chelsea. Amadou Onana, injured in the World Cup. He's going to be out for a very extended period of time. They bring in Joao Gomez from Wolverhampton. Nice player. Can maybe pick up some of what Rodgers was doing, maybe a little Tielemans. But I worry that these guys won't have time to gel against a Paris team that knows what they're doing. They've been together a long time. Assuming the Cookers are playing, you got to be on PSG here. I'm going to go with the team total for PSG, over 1.5, minus 120. Sort of in line with what you're saying there, Jord. I mean, it could be 3-0
Right.
PSG, but you got to get that third goal. I was just a little concerned about getting the dreaded 2-0 as we talk about. So I'm going to go with the team total there, Jord, minus 120 for the Parisians.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, Dev, as you say. Yeah, I'm on the over. I need that third goal, but PSG capable of doing it on their own. In this sort of more relaxed setting, I think there's every chance Villa can still get on the score sheet. We'll see. They've got a few key players still. I'd be intrigued to see if we do get to see Manzambi out there. I think we'll probably see Emi Buendia. Maybe we'll see Tammy Abraham. Is he still there? Someone's
Still there.
He
He came off the bench. They still have Ollie Watkins.
Oh, yeah. Ollie Watkins, Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins scores in every match.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's Ashraf Hakimi playing in the right back for PSG, you know who's not going to be troubling him? Alejandro Garnacho, who's been brought into Villa.
I read a really interesting article about Garnacho and about how Unai Emery is obsessed with him and has wanted him for like ages and believes that he can unlock everything good about him. So I'm really intrigued to see if that's true, if the Warlock can bring out the best in the skeleton. But
I hope he proves me wrong. Yeah, I mean, look, sure, Garnacho, go ahead. He's a strange looking fellow. He deserves it.
Go off, King.
Well, that's going to do it for the Super Cup. We've got one more match for you guys.
Indeed, Dev. And this one, not quite like the other, in my opinion. I'm going to go the different way in this one. We'll get into it here. It's the FA Community Shield, yeah? This year not being played at Wembley. Why? Because The Weeknd is in town playing on Sunday night in London, Wembley Stadium. So they've moved this to Cardiff, Wales. Yeah.
Excellent pronunciation of weekend, by the way. Many people think it's the weekend. No. There's an E missing in there. It's the weekend.
So yeah, we got Arsenal here. Premier League winners hosting Manchester City. FA Cup winners. And this one, the bookies can't split it, Dev. It's a pick 'em. Minus 114 on the Arsenal side. Minus 103 on the Man City side, but this is very much a pick 'em. 0.0 on the Asian handicap, and the total set at 2.5 again here, juiced to the over, which is sort of interesting. Dev, I'm going to pass it to you here first. What are you seeing for this?
Well, this is a good litmus test for what we're going to see from the Premier League. Right now, we'll have talked about 3 Premier League teams, and 2 of them who have actually, relatively speaking, like the same kind of team, right? Arsenal, Aston Villa. It's the same coach. They know what they're doing. Arsenal coming off their big win, finally, of the Premier League, and came very close to winning the Champions League. Man City now, huge turnover, right? Pep is gone. Pep is dead. The war is over. Bringing in Enzo Maresca. What do you think about Enzo Maresca?
Well, it'll look similar, right? Like if you're glancing down on the pitch, it'll kind of still seem like Pep's there, for a second. And then you get the front shot and you're like, oh, well. Oh,
yeah. You mean physically. Yeah. I thought you meant like the play style will look similar. And then somewhat, right? Maresca famously was a coach under Pep Guardiola. I believe he took Man City's under 20 team to the EPL or maybe Champions League final and won it.
He knows the club, a safe pair of hands. Yeah. Look, he's a little more pragmatic, I think, than Pep, but Pep's in some ways a pragmatist. He just does it in a different way, right? He likes to keep the ball. Maresca, not as shy about, I would honestly say, I think from what I've seen of Maresca, he's more similar to Arteta and that he's willing to get his hands dirty a little more. He's willing to go defensive. So yeah, does that benefit Man City or not? I don't know. It's really interesting though that Arsenal are kind of the only team, not only having won the Prem, now continue on as favorites to win it again, and are mostly retaining their core, and they have their coach, and everyone else that's in the top four in terms of, the betting odds, which we'll get into on Wednesday on our outrights show.
Futures.
That's right. We see turnover, right? Chelsea, new coach. Man City, new coach. Liverpool, new coach. Man U,
Tottenham,
same coach. Yeah, Spurs, pretty much a new coach. So very interesting. But in this match here, I'm kind of with the market here. I can't really split them. We've seen these teams meet so much lately, and that's kind of one of the main talking points I wanted to touch on, is that this has become, just due to the teams being successful in recent seasons, this has become a rivalry now, right? Arsenal, Man City, we see them face off in finals all the time. They played in the Community Shield 2 seasons back. That was a 1-1 in regular time.
That's right.
And I think we probably get something similar here. I want to pass it back to you, though, for the betting take, because I kind of stole your thunder after the Maresca.
No, I wanted to have a conversation because I do think Manchester City is super interesting, because it's not just the coaching turnover and like walking into Pep's shadow. We've seen in this league a lot of times that legendary manager, it's really tough to replace him.
Yeah.
Now, I guess bald fraud Arne Slot might say it was quite easy, actually. Stepped in and won the title. But it's not just him, right? Is Rodrigo going to play? Is Rodri playing in this? I mean,
No,
is he going to be a Man City player? He's linked to first Real Madrid, then Barcelona, then possibly Real Madrid again. I mean, he seems like he's out the door. I think they put him on ice because they can't get him injured anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Bernardo Silva, he's been a club captain. He's gone. Over recent seasons, they've lost a lot of that like core winning culture players that they've had. And there's some unbelievably great players still. I saw a graphic, the only 2 players left on the team from their Champions League winning side, which was several years ago now for Manchester City, is Erling Haaland and Ruben Diaz. That was Haaland's first year. So Haaland's still there. Diaz still there. Semenyo, Doku, Cherky, is he going to have a bigger role this year? How does it all come together? And then I think the Premier League record signing, Elliot Anderson, now probably trying to take over that Rodri spot in midfield. And can he do it? He was great in the World Cup. I think he's a great player. I think there's a lot of moving parts and things that I wouldn't want to face a team like Arsenal in this first match out the gate, with like all these new cogs and pieces turning and systems and coach. The players are so damn good that they're going to be fine in the season, but it's really early. So I'm leaning Arsenal here because of the solidity, the understanding with one another. We didn't talk about their new sign. I mean, Bruno Gomes, great signing for them. I don't know how much he'll feature really in this one because they have such a solid midfield of players. So I am going to go with the Arsenal on the pick here. I think there's every chance this is a tie in the 90. So I want the pick protection. I was surprised the price was this good on it, honestly. I guess it comes down to the head-to-head record, which I'm sure you're going to tell me about. Arsenal have not beaten Manchester City in 3 straight head-to-heads, including 2 losses in their last 2 matches. So maybe that's bulletin board material for this Arsenal side. But what do you think, George? Where are you at here?
Well, Dev, like we talked about in the last game, you just got to stretch your stats back further to agree with your point, right? Arsenal has given them some games, certainly been able to draw them in the 90 minutes. But yeah, no, I take your point. I think you're right. Everything that you said is right. I think Arsenal are the more put together team right now. And there's cohesion, there's carryover. Maresca is the unknown. I don't think it's going to take too long for it to start to click, but this might be a game too soon. Little fact check for you here. Elliot Anderson was only the record signing in the Premier League for like a week, and then Morgan Rogers beat him by £1 million.
Oh, that's right. They tacked on like an
So
extra
silly.
million just to say.
So silly.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Neither of them is worth that money. Can we be clear?
Yeah, I
it's
totally agree.
This stuff is just funny money. The amount that Arsenal were looking to spend on Vinny Jr., I really wanted him to come, by the way.
That
I
would
would
have
have loved that.
he would have been worth it, I think. That's a different tier of player. I don't think we've seen anyone like him in the Prem aside from like Mohamed Salah recently. That's like that
and certainly not
winner.
coming from like at the peak of their powers, pulling them from like a Madrid or something. That's
exactly.
That would be like Mbappe level, getting him to come over. But anyway, I'm with you in terms of the side there, Dev. But I'm just going to stick with the total again here, and I'm going to do our old tried and true. This match, despite it not really mattering, we do see a fair amount of unders here because teams do seem to kind of go for it, especially when, or not want to lose it, rather, especially when there's a bit of a rivalry. And, obviously it's a domestic competition, so there's going to be rivalry no matter who's in it. But with these two, as I talked about earlier, it's really developed over the last few seasons. These are the two that have been challenging, pushing each other for the league, facing off in cup finals. There's bragging rights here. I think, we've seen the battles between Haaland and Gabriel, and that's extended into Arteta and Pep never really got into it, but Pep mixed it with some Arsenal players. Arteta mixed it with some Man City players. Maybe Maresca won't be as couth as Pep, but yeah, I very much look at this as a rivalry, regardless of it being just kind of a whatever trophy. And as far as it being one that teams don't want to lose, it's been relatively cagey, kind of the opposite in terms of data. I decided to pick out 11 matches again with this one, just because I did it with the other one. 8 of the last 11 Community Shields have gone under 2.5 goals. That's a 73% hit rate on the under there. And then, of course, 5 of the last 8 head-to-head meetings between these two have gone under 2.5, and that's a 63% rate. I already mentioned the last Community Shield they played was a 1-1. I think we see something similar. I looked at both teams to score no because of that plus money, but it just has 1-1 written all over it, Dev. Maybe a 2-0 if City just don't have their horses or their ducks in a row, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this will be one to check lineups for as well. I think we're going to see really strong lineups from both teams. They want to send a message to a big rival. Like you said, this is a rivalry. So send a big message at the beginning of the season and start all your guys. I just think the cohesion of Arsenal, hopefully they can get it done. Betting on Arsenal's not been great for, even though they've been so good, I've found a way to lose money on them the past couple of years.
Absolutely. It's actually one thing that does worry me about this match is that it is in Cardiff and not at Wembley. Like all those games I just cited took place at Wembley. These teams are so comfortable with Wembley. They've played there a bunch. Does this kind of like throw it into some like, whoa, we're playing in Dubai. This is some Super Cup match or something. And like everything goes out the window. I don't know.
There is, what they say about Wembley is like it's such a big field. It's like one of the largest fields in Europe. So it ends up being a lot of unders because of that. Guys get tired. There's too much space to defend. It's hard to, I don't know. I don't understand how it exactly correlates. But look, we're almost back. So we'll have this one on Sunday, and then we begin on Friday, the following Friday. So we're almost there, Jord. But look, before we get out of here, there's something that we got to do.
We do indeed, Dev. Because it's one thing to chat shit about these matches, and it's quite another to put our money where our mouths are and pay the bookie.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, I'll break every fucking bone in your body.
Well, we'll throw up the official plays on the screen for you guys and read them out for the podcast listeners. Look, the UEFA Super Cup. I'm on PSG team total over 1.5 goals, minus 120. And the Community Shield Arsenal as a pick on the Asian handicap, minus 114. Jord, what do you got?
Dev, in the Super Cup, I'm taking over 2.5 goals at minus 108. And in the Community Shield, I'm taking under 2.5 goals at plus 105. Our graphics said plus 103. do shop around, people.
Yes, always good to shop around, especially when we get into these very strange matches. Look, we'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to have futures outrights, for you guys. George told me he has 12 and a half units on futures already, so that's
Just
exciting.
about. Yeah,
Wow.
12.25 units
the quarter.
so far in the play there. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting for another one to come available, and then I'm going to slap down some more unitage.
Okay. All right. I've got about 6, so I'm like halfway there. But it'll be a good opportunity to preview the season, talk about everything. For those of you who are joining us and you're new to the show, please give us a like, follow, subscribe on whatever you're listening or watching on. We do appreciate it. It does help us. And Jord, I guess until next time, let's make some money.
Let's make some money.
Martial.